Okay, so I've added a checkout button, and this is not going to be super sophisticated. Maybe we'll just, when the user clicks on this, we'll just display a message box reflecting the total of all the cookies that they want to buy. One thing I'm not going to do is account for buying multiple boxes of certain varieties. Obviously, in a realistic application, you would want to allow for that, but I just want to keep this simple, otherwise this video series is just never going to end. So what we'll do is when they click the button here to check out, we'll maybe zip through a little array of prices of the things they want to buy. I haven't created that yet, but I will behind the scenes in just a moment, and just add them all up and get a running total. And yeah, display it in a quick little message box. Next unit, we're going to talk about printing, and we'll learn how to do a more sophisticated, like, maybe a receipt or like a packing slip or something like that. Something more sophisticated. But let's put that on the back burner for now. So I think what we'll do is, let me double click this. Now this is where I'm going to add up all the prices of the things they want to buy. But one thing I have not done is created some kind of means to capture the prices of the things they want to buy. I know I did put some prices in this second list box here, but they're not, like, it's just part of a string. I can't do math with those that end up in here. So we're going to have to figure out a different way. So I think what I'll do is at the top of the program where I'm creating my arrays, my parallel arrays, I'm going to put another array into this program. This will be an array to capture the prices of the things the user wants to buy. Okay, I should note this is not in parallel. Not in parallel with the other arrays. Okay, this is a completely separate array. It'll be an array of type decimal because we're dealing with money. Why don't I call it to buy equals new decimal. Now I have to put a size here. Well, there are 9 types of cookies, so I'll just put an even 10 in there. Obviously, in a realistic application, you don't want to limit your shopping cart to size in any way. You want the user to buy as many things as possible. So I wouldn't want to cap them off at 10 items. But we'll look at better ways of doing this, like especially in C# too, when we explore more of the collections. Arrays have their limits, and we'll learn about those eventually. But for now, let's just say, okay, they can only buy 10 items. Okay, so we have the to buy array. So what happens is when the user adds something to the cart, not only do I want to add that item to the list box so the user can see what they're actually committing to buy, but I think I will also, to the to buy array, oh, you know what else I need? Now that I'm thinking about it, let's do an integer, and let's call it like num items to buy. No, you know what? That's too long. Let's say to buy index. Okay, and we're going to start that at a nice clean 0, because we need to keep track of where we are in this array as they're adding items to the cart. We want to, increment that so we're moving through the array and not always putting the prices into the same element and overriding what was in there. So let's say this. We'll say to buy, and then the to buy index. Okay. Is going to take on the value of the price of the thing that they're looking at when they click that add to cart button. So that would be the prices array with the selected index of that first list box on the left. Okay. That'll get the price of the currently viewed item into the to by array. And now, very importantly, we need to move on to the next element in that to by array. And we can do that by incrementing the index there. This, what you could do when you have a postfix index like that, you could slap it onto this. When you have a postfix increment, I should say, a postfix increment, the increment takes place dead last after the rest of this line of code has executed. So it really has when you use it like this, it has the same effect of you putting it loose by itself down here. I think for beginners, I would just do it like this. With beginners, it helps to just spell everything out and so you can see what's going on. So this would, prepare to move to the next element in the to by array. Okay, in case they want to buy another one. Another cookie. Okay, so there is that. I think now, once the user clicks that checkout button, this to by array is going to have the prices of all the things that they want to buy at that moment. So what we can do is just zip through that array with like maybe a little for loop. And then we'll have a grand total. We'll zip through the array and add up all the prices, and it should be pretty quick. So why don't we can do it right here. I can do like a procedure level variable. We'll say decimal total started at a nice clean 0. And then I'm going to zip through that array. We'll say int I starting at 0. I is less than 2 by index is going to get us right where we want. 2 by index. That has the number of items that the user is wanting to buy at this moment. So if I go until it's less than that, then that'll be perfect. It's going to get me right through that array. All right, so there you have it, and then we'll say total equals whatever's already in there plus the value that we're looking at, which is in the to by array, and loop counter as array index in this case. That's it. That's really it. And now we're home free. We can do a quick message box. We'll say your total is... and then we'll concatenate to that the total itself. Oops. The total itself. And we'll format it currency style. Okay, and we can even throw in a new line. We'll say thank you for supporting the Girl Scouts. Okay, just while I'm doing a message box here, this is what's going to show in the message box. You can do like a title for the message box. Guys, I'm going to put thank you in all caps so you can see it. You can even, and this is probably less common, but if you wanted to manipulate the message box buttons, I'll just show you. This is, I think just an OK button would be fine here. But if you wanted like an OK cancel, eventually maybe in this class we'll do one where we have a yes, no response. I'll do an OK cancel just so you can see the effect. Okay, so let's run this. All right, so let me just add a few of these. So what, I'm up to $15. Let me add one of the more expensive ones. So I should be up to $21. Let's see if it works. Yes, it did work. Look at the message box here. This is the title, the thank you in all caps that I put there. And then I also used OK and cancel buttons. All right. I would just do, if the default is just an OK button. So if I don't put this here, then I'll just get the regular OK, which would be better in this case, I think. We don't need a cancel button on that. But yeah, so it's working, and there's your running total on the cookies to buy, and I think we'll call this a wrap.